Have you ever made a mistake? A public mistake? So bad that even years later, you cringe at the thought of it. You look back, and there it is again, that memory, and your body goes, oh no, not that. And did that mistake change how big you were willing to be? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm standing in the wings. The lights are getting hot. The music is building and the audience is waiting. I was a dancer. I had done the work, rehearsed the routine inside out, outside in. I knew every count, every breath, every turn. I stepped onto the stage, jazz hands leading in all its glory, but something appeared strange. Where's the audience? They're behind you. I realize I'm facing the wrong way. Upstage, I can feel every pair of eyes burning into the back of my neck. My stomach feels somewhere near my toes, and my brain is screaming, turn around, run off, disappear. But instead, my instinct kicked in, and I danced. I danced the performance of a lifetime as if I'd been given a solo spot. I improvised with such gusto until such time I was back on beat with the other dancers and in step with the routine. But something breaks. A loose connection that stole 20 years of my life. The following day, I replayed it over and over. What did I do? How could I have let that happen? One word. Anxiety. Anxiety doesn't care how prepared you are, does it? It keeps you outside looking in. I've got to get this right. Got to impress the audience, the choreographer, the director. My mind ablaze with all that could go wrong, with hardly a thought to all that could go right. And in that moment, I made a promise to never, ever repeat that mistake. But here's what that promise actually became. From then onwards, on stage, everything had to be controlled, every step choreographed, no room for error, and definitely no improvisation. Even though it was improvisation that had saved me. I was in the world of dance, but I kept myself small. I choreographed, I directed, I toured my jazz dance company for a decade, but I still never performed solo. For 20 years, I was that person, not only avoiding a mistake, I was avoiding myself. To understand why that moment held so much power over me, it's important to know who I was when I stepped onto that stage. A dark-skinned black woman in a mostly white, commercial, stage school world. Everyone else seemed to have the right training, the right connections, the right look. I had come through a different path, a performing arts degree. And although I was grateful for every yes I received, I didn't dream of a solo spot. Plus, I was raised in a very strict Caribbean environment. You did not put a foot wrong. So when I stepped onto that stage and had that facing the wrong way moment, it wasn't just a slip. I was accompanied by many voices, including the one in my head, tap, tap, tapping. You cannot afford to make that mistake again. Fast forward 20 years. I'm on a retreat, overcoming fears. The organizer comes to me and says, Pearl, would you like to improvise a dance? I hide behind the mask of a smile. I appear to be calm. But my heart is racing, my palms are sweaty, and in an instant I am on that stage with my back to the audience. Improvise. He used the word improvise. I make excuses. No, it's okay. Let others entertain. I'm happy to watch. And as I do, the voice of truth states, liar, liar, scaredy cat, liar. The gift on offer was not lost to me. I could continue to play that person, the one who's got it all together. Or I could be done with this. So I approached the organizer. No choreography, no plan, no what's next. And I said yes and stepped onto the stage. The music started, igniting a spark of internal tremors. At first, my movements were small, cautious. It was polite. But then the room started to fall away and the sides started to blur as if I was entering elsewhere. I stopped thinking about how I looked and who was watching. I was no longer outside looking in, judging, correcting, policing every moment. Instead, I was in the dance, shaping, sculpting, lost in the bliss of me, myself, and I don't know how long it lasted, 3 minutes, the length of a track. But I remember the music stopping, the room coming back into focus, and I was on my knees, breathless, center stage, and the audience was on its feet, clapping, cheering, and it dawned on me, I had done it. I had danced solo, me. I had improvised solo. I took a bow. Breathe, Pearl, breathe. And I walked steadily towards my seat, holding those jelly legs about to crumble under the weight of the adrenaline rush. I did it, and it felt like freedom. The next morning, my lower back seized. I mean, properly seized. I was expecting to leap out of bed with the joys of spring, but instead there I was rooted in pain. 3 minutes of dancing, 3 weeks of nursing myself back to health. But it was worth it. I would trade that moment again in a heartbeat. When I permitted my solo, I reclaimed my personal authority. How about that? Trust in myself, my body, my voice, my unique rhythm, even when I was terrified. And ever since then, when I step on stage, I bring that woman, the one who finally stopped watching herself, the one with nothing to prove, the one who faced her fear of making a mistake and realized there is no such thing. The other side of fear is liberation, not perfection. No more shackles on my feet so I can't dance. The prison walls I had built from within, and all I had to do was break them down. Thank you.